Oh, hey, hold on. Pardon me. Thang here. What's going on? Hey. Sorry. I don't even know why I'm wearing a jacket. I'm just got up here. It's 10:30. I've got my at PM here in Austin. I got my coffee. Because that's how I roll. Slept all day, work all night. Just the schedule I happen to be on right now. So you may have noticed I've been bitching on Twitter lately about the direction of Twitter, and that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. Um, yeah, checking myself out here. It looks pretty good, this haircut. It's a self haircut, just buzzed. I was like, buzz it. Screw it. I want to look somewhat respectable, at least with my mouth closed. So, hi. Yeah, so as you know, this past week, the new owner of Twitter has been twittering, doing his Twitter thing and taking over the platform. I'll switch to a closer view here. Hold on. Which one we got here? Oh, that's me. Me and the fish. Hanging with the fish, folks. Yeah, so, yeah, what do I say about this? Well, yeah, what can we say? I don't know. It's just been a real annoyance for me personally because um, you know the platform itself. I mean, it's fine. You type stuff in, you hit enter, and it goes and your pictures go up and everything. It all works. I have no idea if there's any difference in the stuff that's been scrolling past me or whatever. Any of that. I mean, that's not my complaint, of course. It's fine technically, just fabulous. And probably will get better because it's being, paid attention to, and I'm sure that Elon cares about his user experience or whatever. Uh, but yeah, but then there's this whole layer, unfortunately, of like, in order to do whatever he's got to do to make Twitter better and to take over or whatever. I mean, he's in billions and billions and billions of debt that'll probably be nigh impossible to pay off eventually. I don't know what's going to happen. It really depends on how it all works and where the creditors are and all that kind of thing. I don't know a thing about it, so I'm not going to make any assumptions about the long-term health or survival of Twitter. And again, that's not really my concern. For me, it's more just about what is the tone, and there is a way in which the leader or owner of a company who determines a lot of what the culture and tone is going to be. Um, Let me see if I can get a working Discord here because I just did an update on it and it's doing a strange thing where it's just sitting here saying starting forever. Let's quit that. Um, and the tone he's been setting is very toxic. The environment he's been creating is very toxic, if only because uh, of his pandering and lies and other things. Let's talk first about the lies, since that's part of the whole. That's part of everything else. But most recently, one of his first things was to say, with a straight face, he looked in your eye and he told you that Apple had threatened to remove Twitter from the App Store. Well, that never happened. But within minutes or whatever, people were jumping on that bandwagon and assuming he was telling the truth. I never did. I didn't think he was. I was pretty sure he was pulling our leg. And as it turns out, he was pulling our leg. But that's if his lie causes damage to Apple, which, suddenly politicians like Jim Jordan, if you want to call him that, I guess so. That's essentially what he is. It's a matter of personal survival, but call it that. Uh, are showing up on networks and saying we need to, so he's actually, trying to incite investigations and crackdown and antitrust type stuff on Apple, which would just be essentially it's a form of using the government to harass, using the law to harass. And when you do it with a lie, and if you cause damages, you will get sued for defamation. I mean, maybe he doesn't care. Maybe you can afford all the suits all day long for defamation. That's fine. Defamation and slander all day long. But someone who would do that offends me. It offends me. and it bothers me and it annoys me, and it's part of, and if it's part of the tone and platform and culture of the platform, which it apparently is, he's essentially, saying what is appropriate and fine to do, and encouraging, certain types of discourse or whatever. So I guess it's fine to just lie now and say defamatory things on Twitter because the CEO does it. Hey, the owner does it, so why not? Why not just, we can now just lie and defame all day long on Twitter. And, then he's like pandering to, and pandering. Let's talk about the pandering. Replying to like Kanye today, which I think, what a bandwagon jumper, and trying to like be all pals and buddy with Kanye with and talking about Jesus and how he used to think forgiveness and turning the other cheek was lame, and now he thinks it's cool. Oh my God, this guy. So that's pandering to the Christians. Okay, that's never not a good. You can always get away with that. There's certainly, and they like that. They like it when you do that. And they don't care if you're pandering. They don't care. They don't even think about it. They'll just be like, he's one of us now. And all these people are replying, oh, you're on your way to finding your personal savior. It's like, Elon's not going that way. I'm sorry, guys. If he's anything like me, he's not on that. He's not on board with the fairy tales and stuff that you have to believe to join up with some religion. But I'm down with Jesus. I grew up raised a Christian, and I took that shit seriously. More seriously, I think, than a lot of Christians do, honestly. That's why I'm no longer involved with those religions and things like that. So I took that stuff seriously. I was like, yeah, I should turn the other cheek. And I was bullied a bit as a kid. It wasn't too bad, but it was enough it certainly bothered me. And my response was, I was raised and I was like, oh, just forgive him. So I'll just forgive him all day. And that was what I tried to do. It was maybe it's imprudent, but it somehow got me through. And I used to accidentally meditate. I don't think I was doing it on purpose, but I was like into the whole thing, and I was raised a Catholic, and there was a lot of ritual and stuff to that, and I was just like, I was pretty into it. And I don't know, I think it's probably after my confirmation at 16, I was just like, okay, I'm done. Moving on, I've got other things to do. I was never into going to the church and taking part in the praise and worship stuff so much. But, on a certain level, I was definitely admiring of, the ideas and philosophy and approach of being kind and loving others and so forth. And that was the part that stuck with me. None of the other stories, there's some wisdom in there, here and there, but it's spotty. And some of that stuff is just downright wrong and bad. So it's like, yeah, okay, I'll take the good parts and I'll bugger off and just live my life. So, there's all that. So, yeah, I did reply snarkily that, we all went through our Ayn Rand phase, and what does Jesus have to say about pandering and sowing dissent, since he's being a hypocrite. Oh, and hypocrisy, I should have mentioned that. Yeah, what did he say about hypocrites? Because, dude, come on. So yeah, do I want to stay and argue with Elon all day? No, I do not. And I don't want to have to respond to him at all, honestly. I don't want to be on a platform where the owner is just saying onerous things. Just because you're the owner, you don't have to say onerous things. Get it? So yes, I am pretty much done with that platform, and I'm moving to the alternative, which I guess is Mastodon. And I've been advised that there's a Mastodon that has like a 3D printing theme. Oh, that's interesting. This is cool. Discord has like a little grid view now. That's neat. I've never seen that. Gallery view. Scroll through posts with photos and videos using gallery view. Oh, I like it. Get out. Ooh, yeah. Well, you see, you see a lot more at once. That's cool. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 posts pretty much in front of me here. That's pretty cool. Oh, anyway, so looking at Mastodon, Mastodon is a distributed system in which each server, there are different servers, and of course, they're run by whoever. So you don't want to be posting a lot of sensitive information and stuff there. Anything you wouldn't want, and any of your private messages are not really going to be private per se. That needs to be worked on. So my backing goes beyond just joining up with Mastodon. I also want to I want to put my money where my mouth is and help back whatever technology is behind Mastodon and continue to improve it and see it get better so that we can not have to be on platforms where some owner can come along and just become and just start posting a lot of nonsense and BS and trying and basically pandering to this sort of, I guess mainly on the right wing mentality of like this stupid notion of free speech absolutism where a platform shouldn't have terms of service and rules of conduct and they should never ban people. Of course, he's been banning people for all kinds of crazy, stupid reasons, or I should say the platform has, because now, people are being welcomed back and so forth. And then they're, of course, the first thing a lot of them do is start, or a lot of maybe accounts, fake accounts, I don't know, but they're doing the thing they usually do, which is, start to send in complaints or whatever, or report accounts that they want to see removed. So that stuff has been happening a lot, and people have been getting kicked, and then their stuff has been coming back. So some of them, I don't know how many have been kicked and haven't come back. I noticed that Jim Carrey left, and I agree with Jim that it's the best idea. If you can just go, just go. He doesn't have any particular need to be there. He just occasionally posts cool drawings and makes a funny comment here and there, but he's not on there a huge amount. I don't think he depends on it. I have come to depend a lot on Twitter because of the need for funding and so forth. I mean, one of the main ways that I think I've gotten followers and funders and people to be aware of what's going on with Marlin was being able to post on Twitter specifically. Facebook hasn't been great for that. I have a group there, but that's mostly for support. I don't do a lot of announcements there. I just help people with their problems and try to pop in and just check on things and moderate when I have to. And that's so that's the only reason I'm really on Facebook either. Is just the need to maintain that. I don't really use it to keep in touch with friends per se. Messenger, I guess, a bit. So these things are there, and I just don't want. The thing about the Twitter is really I just don't want to be supporting this brat who is acting out and doing all this performative nonsense right now. Maybe he'll chill out and maybe he'll learn his lesson at some point. But I really don't think so. Anytime he finds that, he can deploy a lie or a distortion or pander to somebody or repost something or buddy up to somebody that will get him points with a certain faction that backs whatever thing he wants to promote or dumb idea or attitude, I should say, that he wants to promote. I mean, that kind of stuff is just, he's out there using the platform as a thing that he wants to stir up and cause effects and stuff. And there was never, I mean, what if Zuckerberg were on Facebook all day, like trying to, get people to write into the DOJ and tell them to back off from their election policies or whatever else it might be. What if he was doing that all day on Facebook, sending out posts that everybody had to see on their wall, unless you blocked him, or muted him, which I've had to do. And how would that be, How would that be on any of your other platforms, honestly? So, and I'm getting this response like from one of this Belgian fellow, you may know who I'm talking about, who is saying it's funny. It's really funny how people are just, everything works fine. I mean, what's the problem? What's this so funny how everybody's getting all kooky? I mean, I'm so, I'm calm, dude. You're the one that's calm, dude. I'm totally calm, dude. You're the one that's freaking out, dude. So, that kind of attitude. It's just, taking jabs at people who are at all bothered by this. And I am honestly, it's not like I just let everything roll off my back like a duck. I do forgive, but I don't want to see Elon burned at the stake or anything. I just want him to learn his lesson, grow up, fucking grow up, dude. This is just stupid. I don't have much more to say about the whole situation, I guess. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, has it been personally inconveniencing to me in any way except for the fact that I'm like prone to respond to it and that it affronts me on a kind of moral level. Not really. I mean, no. There is a lot. I guess there is a lot more emboldened, like right-wing stuff going to be popping up on there, which means we'll have to deal with, you know, all this crap about, white Christian nationalism basically being, amplified. And, is it a valid thing to want to overthrow the US government and turn it into a theocracy? Sure, I guess it is, but is that the majority view? Does it matter? Obviously I want to protect their ability to express that opinion that they want that to happen. But what happens oftentimes is that, those who want to promote things and who, especially in this kind of regard, tend not to have many scruples about the way that they do it. And so there ends up being a lot more like, baiting and fraud and accusation, just a lot of ugliness that happens as a result of it. And so, you invite those folks back and you're going to just invite more ugliness. What is the response to it? And the idea of the free speech absolutist is, well, if somebody's bugging you, just bug them back or, whatever. It's like, well, sure. But I mean, do you want to be doing that all day? Is that your responsibility all day to deal with the stuff and, police the others and all this kind of thing? It's not an ideological thing. I don't want to see people purged ideologically, although I'm sure on a certain level, I think Elon probably has done some ideological purging at his company. I would bet if you looked into the stats on who was fired and who was kept, you would find some interesting correlations. But that's just a suspicion I have. I can't bring any data to prove that. It's just my sense of the kind of scruples that Elon has at this moment in his desperation. Whether or not that's something that he retains long term when he doesn't have desperation, I don't know. There's this general sense that I feel like Elon came from privilege, and that has resulted in his success almost more than anything else. Am I jelly? Yes, I guess I could say in a certain sense you could say I'm jelly. I grew up relatively poor. I was able to convince my parents to like help me out with a computer and other things when I was young and stuff, but they were not necessarily prone to like proactively jump and help us in our education, so to speak, get us the lessons we needed that were the things we were interested in, things like that. But then, here and there when they could, they were very supportive, so I don't want to demonize my parents. They did the best they could, and they were pretty young when I was born, in their 20s and so forth, You can imagine, back, in your 20s, a lot of us today, having kids when you're young, it's hard, and you don't have that like sense of like, you want to build a legacy or whatever. You're just like the day-to-day is all that matters. And then beyond that, you're kind of like looking at the life you have rather than the life you could have, so to speak, if through a certain type of legacy building. What am I talking about? I don't know, but what I'm saying is that yes, I would love to have come from some kind of situation where there was a sense of that kind of like legacy and building on it and improving your skills and having your future kind of like laid out for you in a sense. I was definitely not able to self-determine in that way and to just make, go where I wanted, do what I wanted anytime. It was really a matter of, and there was a long period of having to work out the upbringing and extract a lot of nonsense from it and, kind of try to become a more whole person and all that kind of stuff, which one goes through. And, I thought that on a certain level I would just be a philosophical explorer, some kind of artist or whatever, wandering the world. And I would have success by dint of my, seriousness about this endeavor or something. But skills, that was another thing. I didn't have the resources or foresight to really work on building skills for a period. But I was learning philosophy, studying Zen and stuff, just trying to get a grasp on what was known and what wasn't known. It was harder before the internet. And so, I had to kind of like randomly run into things and rely on serendipity so much at that time, and that was kind of the way of things. And I took that as being the way of the universe in a sense. Yeah, just let things come to you and go out in the world, and you'll have a life, and it will be rewarding. But honestly, I do look back and wish I had sort of built my engineering career, my coding career more, and built up on those skills better. Um, but in relation to Elon Musk, so here he comes into this situation, and I feel like, looking at our differing backgrounds, I feel like, I could do as well or better than him at what he's doing. But he has this passionate determination due to his massive debt, I'm sure, almost as much as anything, and his desperate need to survive, as we all have. Um, and something else that's, I don't know, tweaked in this guy about Twitter, but it keeps him focused and stuff. And maybe it is just the matter of like he has to be in this position. I get it, but I do feel like, you know that I guess maybe I would probably tend to vacillate more, and that maybe that's a flaw. Think about things too much before I acted on stuff and tried to make reforms, and that might be, in this kind of situation where you're many, many billions in debt and paying off interest every day and losing money constantly. Um, and you wonder what is the virtue of this platform ultimately. Um, I tend to think it will survive. I guess going back to that, I do think that Twitter will survive. It may thrive. It may improve. A lot of things could occur, but again, at the moment, it's just that you set the tone, Carter. You set the tone, Elon, and the tone you are setting is that you just want to gaslight us. Why would you do that to your customers? We are your customers, I think. I guess that's the right word for it. We are, we're not anything else. We're not your followers. I know the word follower is used on Twitter, but that's an expression. It's just a technical term for people who happen to, be happy to see what you have to say for some reason every day. Um, so yeah, I'm just done with it. It's just too much of a strain on my brain to see someone who has so much potential as a soul. You know what I mean? Like he's so close. He's so close, and then you see the fakery that he engages in. It's just like, I thought this guy was a nerd like me. I thought he was like, somebody who, at least in a certain level, respected engineers and creators. Um, but we see that he doesn't see himself as one. He doesn't see himself as that. If he did, he would be more sympathetic to the people he's firing. He would be more sympathetic to the people he is attempting to gaslight all day. He would be more sympathetic, which, a lot of us are techies. I mean, a lot of Twitter is techies. A lot of it. And, whether it's web developers or, whatever. I mean, the thing is, we're all using computers, obviously, because Twitter requires us to. Unless you're a phone person only, I guess there are a lot of those, pure users. And then there's those of us who see Twitter as being something bigger, or wanted to see, social media as being something bigger, the internet as being something more meaningful, a way to bring people together and help people learn and help, basically also, certainly for me, a way to have the ability to do the kinds of work you love, and actually not have to go off and do work you don't particularly love and waste your time in work that isn't rewarding to you, even though it may be, useful. I mean, McDonald's needs people to cook those burgers. I could do that, but then I would not be putting my time into this stuff, and I think it's better spent there. So on and so forth, right? So again, I do have this, need to bug fix, and so when I see Elon being so broken, I just want to fix the stupid bastard. But what can I do? I can't fix the stupid bastard. There's nothing to be done. He is stuck where he's stuck. Now, I strongly encourage Elon to get a grip and to stop pandering, because it alienates everyone else. You know, the people you are pandering to are not like the top cream of the crop of society here, buddy. You're pandering to people who will buy your stuff, who will buy your bullshit. You know, and you obviously you can't respect someone who believes lies, and so you clearly don't respect us whether we believe your lies or not. If we don't believe your lies, you hate us for not following along with your game, and if we do believe your lies, well, you're thrilled, but you can't possibly respect us because they're lies. You know they're lies, and people who buy your lies are, you know, either sycophants who just want to go along with everything, or they're just ignorant and they don't know that they're lies, and so you can't respect them on that level. I mean, come on, man. So, you know, if you want to have good relations with me, with the rest of Twitter, with the tech community, with, you know, with the people who you should want to have, you know, the respect of, you gotta stop playing games and being a jerk and being an idiot. It's just not cool, man. You know, I've done my share of being a jerk and being an idiot. Okay, I'm not immune. But I, you know, when I try not to double down. Who knows, I'll probably double down plenty too. You know, none of us are without sin. Okay, so, but that does not excuse, you know, continuing and, you know, being completely, you know, not concerned. You have to repent, right? That's an important part. Without repentance, there is no forgiveness, so to speak. You know, you have to make up for the things you've done. You have to, you know, repay your victims and all that kind of thing. Now, I'm not saying, you know, that economic slavery or anything like that is involved here. I mean, Twitter was what it was, is what it is. It had the resources it had, and it had the structure and organization it had and has. It's going to continue. It's going to be fine, most likely. But in this period now, I just don't foresee a time when Elon's gonna stop. Anytime he needs something, he's gonna pull nonsense. If he needs to manipulate stocks, he's gonna say something about something. If he needs to manipulate cryptocurrency, he's gonna say something about something. If he needs to whip up a bunch of right-wing panderers to pander and pretend, he will whip up right-wing panderers to pander and pretend. And it's just obnoxious. If he was doing it somewhere else, like, you know, over in some, you know, talking to the LA Times, or, you know, doing an interview on Ellen, I don't know, whatever, but if he were to do stuff elsewhere, it would be, you know, I wouldn't be leaving Twitter, probably. I'd be like, that's fine. But the fact that he posts all day on it and sets the tone as the, you know, purported like cheerleader and, you know, figurehead, that to me is just, I don't know, it's just become untenable. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen in the future? Do you think the guy is going to learn his lesson? Do you think he's going to chill the fuck out? Do you think he's going to figure out that alienating half of the users or more on Twitter is uncool? Is he going to, you know, realize that gaslighting is, you know, no longer acceptable? That people are hypersensitive to that now, and that, you know, this is not something you can just do as a matter of course just because you feel like you have to survive. Will he? You tell me. I don't think so. I am supremely, highly skeptical that he will learn his lesson. So anyway, I'm going to connect up here onto Discord, and I'm going to carry on with my work, because that's what's important today. And I will even share my screen here. Let's see. Screen 2. This one. Yeah. 1080, 15 frames. What do you say? Sure. I hope 15 is enough. Should be more than enough, right? So, how's everyone today? Do you think I should stop the stream here and start a new one, just so I can get on to a new subject and clear and not have this all filling it up? I think I will. Let's do that. All right. Thanks, everybody. I love you. Thank you for your contributions. We sent out. I sent out some bonuses, a bounty for input shaping to Tom, who's, and some bonuses for people who've been around all year helping out. And I want to send out gifts, like send out some Marlin merch. If I've got your address, I'll send some out, and things like that. It's the holiday season. It's the time to acknowledge all the hard work we've done all year and celebrate it and just be happy that we've accomplished so much, especially with like input shaping is so exciting. I'm very excited about it. Well, anyway, let's stop this and I'll move on to the next stream. All right.